Alright, hello all you people out there, this is Michael of 2.5 Stooges, and welcome to the list edition of the GameMaker Data Structure series. That sounded a lot stupider outside of my head than it did in. Anyway, in case you didn't go and read the title, which I think most people did, this video is about the list data structure in GameMaker. Now, these colored squares are going to be representing items in an inventory, and I've already made a video about inventory in GameMaker already to demonstrate how simple arrays work, really. But I'm going to be going over them again, and in a couple other of these data structure videos, just to illustrate how they work, because arrays are rather good and easy to implement ways to demonstrate them. And how many times can I just say the word demonstrate? Anyway, they don't do anything, but we're going to get out of there. Dang it, I can't hit the escape key to get out of the game anymore. That doesn't make any sense. We're going to click the X button to get out of there. I'm actually going to add a thing. There we go. Now the game will end when you hit escape. But when the player goes and collides with one of the fancy power-up things, I don't know why I called it power-up and not just like item, because that's really what it is. I guess I was still thinking of the inventory item use part of the series that I did, but also, can I still do this? Okay, I can expand the text size with F8 in Studio. That'll make it a little bit easier for people to read. Anyway, when you collide with the power-up, no, not yet, there's something I still have to do first. In the create event, we're going to be saying inventory is going to be a variable. So if I don't feel like spelling that out, so I'm just going to say inv equals dist list create. Takes no arguments, and we have created ourselves a list. Alright, so now when you collide with the power-up, you are quite simply going to be adding the object that you just collided with to the end of the list. So we're going to say ds list add, and it's going to take the ID of the list that we're using, because GM is an index-based engine, and it's going to be inv, and the value that we're going to add is going to be the instance ID of the thing we just collided with, so other.id. And if you want to, you can add this multiple times. As you can see at the bottom, there's a ... and you can just add a bunch of things to the list if you wanted to, but I'm just going to be doing that once to keep things simple. And we could delete the object thing right here, but instead, I'm just going to move it up into the corner of the screen so you have a rather visual representation of it, of what's in the inventory and stuff like that. So give me a minute here. And there we go. And this is just going to move the object into the upper left corner, and they're going to line up nice and neatly as you run into more and more of them. This function here is the next thing I'm going to talk about. I suppose it's just quite simply, it does what it looks like it does. It returns the size of the list. So if the list has one object in it, or one item in it, it doesn't have to be an object, it can be a string or a number or whatever. It'll return 1. If it's empty, it'll return 0. If it's got 20 things in it, it'll return 20, and so on. So we're just going to run the game. Hopefully this won't crash on me, because that would be bad if it does. Alright. So, come on, I can't believe I just missed. Wow, I'm so bad at aiming here. We can do this, and things line up. Perfect. I just thought I should explain that. That's not really what we're going to be doing here. So the great thing about lists is, let's see, what am I doing? The great thing about lists is that they're random access. So similar to arrays, you can just take any old entry in it and tell it to return the value. So if I were to say, how about when you press, what's a good key to press? How about when you press the space bar, we'll ask the user for a number. And this will be the index in the list that you want to get the value at. That reminds me, I should probably go into, where is it? Oh, never mind. So first we should make sure that the number is contained in the list, because if it isn't actually, if you give it, say, a number of 8 and there's only like 4 things in the list, it won't return an error, it'll just return some sort of default value. I think it's -1, but I'm not sure. But we don't want to do that, so we're going to say if, hang on, we need a variable here to collect the value. We're just going to say n. If n is less than ds list size, then we're going to carry out this code, and otherwise we're just not going to do anything. So here we're going to say, quite simply, with ds list find value, we're going to get rid of it, and it's going to go and I need a thing there. It's going to go and delete it. So it'll just disappear off the screen, and we'll be able to see that. I suppose otherwise we should be saying something like, there is no object contained at this position or something, but whatever. So we're going to run the game, and we're going to start adding things to the list, and we're going to say space, how about a number, let's say 2, and that should be, if I believe the yellow one, that's 20. 2, there we go, and that deleted the yellow one. We can say 3, not 33, and that'll delete the green one. If we say like 4, I said 4, nothing will happen because there's nothing there. And there we go. They're still being added onto the end because there is still an object in this position. So what we're going to want to do to deal with that is going to be saying ds list, no, remove ds list delete inventory and n, and that will simply remove it without any need for fancy shifting the other things in the list down a couple of positions like you would if you're using a simple array. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to hit space. We're going to get rid of 2, 1, the yellow one, and we're going to collect the next thing, and it's going to just keep going like it should. And that is pretty much the list. There are a couple other things that you can do with lists. The manual for both GameMaker 8.1 and Studio actually has a decently comprehensive list of all the functions that you can do for all the different data structures. I've been through most of them already. The other ones that are rather important that I didn't talk about, destroy. If you're done with the list, it's a good idea to call destroy on it so that it doesn't keep taking up space in memory. Find index will do a quick search of the list, and if the thing you're searching for is contained in the list, val, the second argument that you pass it, it'll return the index that it is stored at. For example, if you have a list with words in it and the word pie is stored at the third position, it'll return 3. Insert is for adding values between two other positions, or rather adding a value at a specific position that doesn't happen to be the end as you would use with add. So that's rather nice. Sort and shuffle are rather self-explanatory, but I think they're important enough to be worth pointing out. And lastly, read and write. All data structures in GameMaker have these functions. They quite simply read and write the contents of the structures to strings that can be saved to text files or something, so that you can access the same thing between runs of the game. Because by the way, game load and game save don't handle data structures for whatever reason. And that is the list. They're pretty simple. They're basically buffed versions of the array, if you weren't able to tell that already. That's all I have to say about them, so I hope you all enjoyed that. Rate, comment, and subscribe, watch some of the stuff I've uploaded, and I will see you all later.